Old folks in Dry Creek still talk about it. They say the wind changed that night, carrying a whisper that cracked the spine of destiny. The story begins with Elias Crow, a quiet rancher living on the edge of Dry Creek. Folks thought of him as a worn-out man, a loner who once rode with the U.S. cavalry, but retired after something broke inside him. What that was, no one knew. The sun had bled into the horizon, leaving the desert glowing the color of dying embers. Elias finished tying his horses for the night when he heard a hurried knock. 3 sharp taps, shaky, frightened. On his porch stood Rosalie Mercer, the schoolteacher, wide-eyed, trembling, dust clinging to her pale dress like ashes. "Mr. Crow, please," she gasped. "I shouldn't be here. It's forbidden." But she stepped inside anyway, her breath quivering as she scanned the darkening hills behind her. Elias motioned to the chair. "You're safe here, Miss Mercer." "No," she whispered. "No one is safe now. The town, the sheriff, they're hiding something. Something terrible." Her voice broke as she handed him a folded slip of parchment. A map, marked with a symbol, one Elias hadn't seen since the war. His jaw tightened. "Where'd you get this?" She swallowed. "A stranger rode into town. Tall, scarred eyes like winter. He warned me, said men were coming. Dangerous men. He said only you could stop what's coming." Elias stiffened. Decades of memories, blood, sand, gunfire, boiled under his skin. "Why me?" Rosalie leaned closer, voice trembling like a ghost clinging to breath. "Because he said you weren't always a rancher. He said you were something else. Something the town must never know." Elias stared at her, stayed silent, but his eyes betrayed him, haunted, alert, awakening. She continued. "He said if anyone found out, Dry Creek would burn." Outside, thunder rolled, though the sky was clear. The horses snorted nervously. Rosalie pressed her hand over Elias's. "Please don't make me say more. It's forbidden." Elias stood slowly, the old scout's instincts crawling back into his bones. "I reckon some things need breaking," he muttered. And that's where the legend began. Old-timers claim the desert itself seemed to hold its breath as Elias saddled midnight, his black stallion known for outrunning dust storms. Rosalie clung to the saddle behind him as they rode toward Red Hollow Canyon, following the map's blood-red markings. The moon climbed overhead, painting the world in silver and shadow. "You ain't told me everything," Elias finally said. She hesitated. Then the truth spilled out like a river bursting its dam. "That stranger, he said there's a gang coming for the town. Not for money, not for revenge, for what's buried beneath it." Elias narrowed his eyes. "Buried," she nodded. "Some kind of government crate. Sealed. Hidden after the war. Something you were part of." Elias felt a cold shiver crawl down his spine. He knew exactly what she meant. Decades earlier, Elias had been the last surviving scout of Operation Eyeglass, a classified mission. The military buried an experimental weapon beneath a frontier town to keep it from falling into enemy hands. Dry Creek was that town, and no one living knew, except Elias. The canyon walls rose like jagged tombstones as they approached a narrow fissure in the rock. A single lantern glowed ahead. A silhouette waited, tall, broad, wrapped in a dust coat. The stranger. He stepped forward. The moonlight revealed a sharp scar running down his cheek. "I figured you'd come, Crow," he said, voice rough as gravel. "You always were the stubborn kind." Elias studied him. Then recognition struck. "Captain Rourke, thought you were dead." Rourke smirked. "Almost was. But death ain't got the stomach for me yet." Rosalie stepped forward. Tell him everything." Rourke sighed. "Men are coming, Elias. 40 of them. Ex-soldiers. Well armed. They ain't bandits. They're hunters. They want Nightglass." Rosalie shivered at the name. Rourke continued. "They know you're the only one who can find the vault. And once they have you, they'll burn the town just to make sure no one talks." Elias clenched his fists. "I buried that past." Rourke's eyes hardened. "Past doesn't stay buried. Not when devils come digging." A distant rumble echoed through the canyon. Hoofbeats. Many. Fast. Rourke cursed. "They're early." Elias pulled Rosalie behind him. Rourke readied his rifle. The first shots cracked across the canyon like exploding glass. Muzzle flashes lit the darkness. Elias moved with startling speed, far quicker than any rancher should. He dodged, rolled, fired 2 clean shots, each hitting its mark. Rosalie stared in shock. Rourke grinned. Looks like the old scout ain't dead after all. But more riders poured in, shadowy, furious, relentless. Elias hissed to Rosalie, "Run. Get to the ridge. Whatever happens, don't look back." And thus began the battle that Dry Creek would whisper about for generations. It said the ridge still holds the echoes of that night. Rosalie scrambled up the steep path, lantern shaking in her trembling hands. Behind her, the canyon roared with gunfire, screams, ricochets singing off stone. At the top, she spun back, unable to obey Elias's command. The view below was a churning storm of shadows and flame. Rourke fought like a man who'd made peace with death. Elias fought like a man who refused it. But the hunters were many. By sunrise, Elias and Rourke had forced their way to the ridge. Both were bleeding, both exhausted. The riders regrouped on the plain below, dozens of them forming a circle. Their leader rode forward, tall, long black coat, a silver tooth gleaming when he smiled. "Crow," he shouted, "we want what's ours." Elias stepped ahead, eyes cold as mountain winter. "You're trespassing on government ground." The leader laughed. "Government ain't here. Just you, and that little box you sealed in the dirt." Rosalie watched Elias carefully. He did not deny it. The leader raised his hand. "Last chance. Show us the vault." Rourke spat blood into the dust. "You'll die before you touch it." The leader shrugged. "Then Dry Creek dies instead." Those words tore through Elias like a bullet. The people of Dry Creek, quiet, hard-working folk, had no idea they were living atop a secret grave. Elias lowered his head, then lifted it, and a different man stood in his place. The rancher was gone. The scout had returned. Deadly, focused, legendary. "Rourke," he said calmly, "you still carry the signal flare?" Rourke blinked. "You can't be serious." Elias stepped forward. "I buried that vault. I locked it. I swore never to open it." His jaw tightened. "But if they want night glass, they'll get it." Rosalie gasped. "Elias, no." He looked back at her, eyes soft. "Some things are forbidden, Rosalie. But sometimes you break a rule to stop worse men from breaking the world." He turned back to Rourke. "Fire it." Rourke struck the flare. A blazing red tail shot into the sky. A moment of silence. Then the ground shook. Below the ridge, a circular section of earth split open. Sand poured down into a dark pit. Metal panels unfurled like the ribs of a steel beast awakening. A vault, massive, humming, rose from hell itself. The hunters stared in awe. Elias whispered, "Night glass." But the vault didn't just open. It responded. Lights ignited, steam hissed, and a mechanical roar rolled across the desert. The hunters charged, terrified yet greedy. And that's when Elias made his choice. The old storyteller always pauses here, right before the final blaze of glory. As the hunters converged on the vault, Elias ran straight toward them, drawing their fire. Rourke laid down cover, bullets sparking against steel. Rosalie screamed his name, but her voice was swallowed by chaos. Elias reached the vault interface, a metal plate with a single lever. "Crow!" Rourke yelled. "Don't do it!" Elias closed his eyes, whispered a prayer for the town, and pulled the lever. A blinding surge exploded outward, pure kinetic shock, not fire. It knocked riders off horses, hurled men across sand, shattered rifles. The vault's fail-safe system, designed to disable enemy forces, activated in a ring of thunder. When the dust settled, the hunters lay scattered, unconscious or crawling away in terror. The leader stared at Elias through cracked goggles. "You were supposed to be just a rancher." Elias stepped forward, face shadowed in smoke and dawn. "I was a scout, a protector, and you should have left my town alone." The leader fled into the rising sun. None followed. Rosalie rushed to Elias as the vault slowly descended back into the earth. Gears groaned. Sand rained down. The secret returned to its grave. She touched his face gently. "You could have died." Elias gave a weary smile. "Ma'am, I've been half dead for years. Tonight just reminded me I'm still breathing." Rourke limped toward them. Crow, what now? Elias looked out at Dry Creek, the little town just waking to sunrise. Now, he said softly. Now I finally tell the truth. The town deserves that much. But Rosalie shook her head. No, let the secret rest. Let the town stay innocent. Rourke nodded. She's right. Some truths belong to the desert. Elias hesitated, then let out a slow breath and agreed. The vault sealed. The canyon quieted. The danger passed. The legend began. And so the old storytellers say that on that strange dawn, a quiet rancher saved an entire town and slipped back into ordinary life, carrying the weight of a forbidden truth no one else would ever know. Except her. Rosalie took his hand gently. Thank you, Elias. He squeezed back. For what? For breaking what was forbidden to save what mattered. And Dry Creek never forgot the day the rancher proved that even the quietest man can shake a whole town.